What is up, Vlog Nation? Welcome to Studio Winni, Vlog, Episode 5. Today, we are talking all about 3D, the future.
Yeah. So this episode is going to be all about 3D shenanigans. I kind of don't know what I'm talking about, but we have plans for using 3D for our film, because that'll be very economical. So for our film, all our backgrounds are going to be mainly 3D, so then we can do cool stuff with it, like lighting changes and shenanigans. Much like how Adam did with his film last year.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a good idea since I already had experience with it. It worked very well in my case. It saved me a lot of time and it was just really nice. So I thought since we're going to be in primarily one environment again, it would probably be pretty smart. And then we could also use like a really interesting dynamic camera that was continually moving through like the environment, and it would really separate our work from others because like most 2D projects will not have as dynamic of a camera as we have.
Yeah. Starting off with how we're gonna get the background done. So first is references, as per usual. Call back to the concept art episode if you want to make something cool, design it, and have references beforehand to design it good.
Make it good.
Make it awesome.
Make it good.
Make it awesome. References help.
So obviously the story changed a lot over time, but we still had like basically the same idea for what we want the environment to be, like Temple of Time inspired, basically. Just something like that, like ruins, cool ruins with like beautiful light coming through.
Yeah. Okay, so from those references, I decided to design the final arena fighting area more like kind of like a game, so we'd have some awesome ideas to move them around the map and use the environment in an awesome way. So, referencing those kind of games and such, I made a isometric view of a 3D layout that we were planning to model in 3D to be used in a storyboard. So I kind of went by layer, making the environment interesting and clear enough. So then we can hand that off to another 3D person that's very good at doing stuff. Brian Biglin.
Hi, I'm Brian. So I made the initial 3D environment that Alex gave me the isometric drawing for, and basically it wasn't really like that big of a project. I just set up a 3D camera in Maya and put a cube in and just sort of started extruding geometry from there. It was pretty simple, like low poly, no details or anything. It took me a few hours and I made it pretty much just what he had drawn. I used like some booleans and stuff, and
After we had the model, we went into storyboarding because that's kind of what we have to do to get our finished product. And using the 3D model really helped a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Because it really helped us understand the space of where our fight.
Yeah. Also, it shot like thinking up shots that like way easier because you could just like, move around 3D space. It was very helpful.
So this was our model. We were aware that it was completely temporary while we were storyboarding in it. So we were a little worried about the future of it, I guess. Yeah. Because like any changes that would happen to the model. But we still went ahead anyways. You know about the disaster of storyboarding last episode, so suffice to say we didn't use this model. Well, but it was a very good jumping off point.
Yeah, we were always going to use like this as a reference just for like the layout. It really was just kind of like a sketch layout for 3D.
But we kind of did have a finished 3D background a little later on when I did my render shot. Alex's was just a painting, but for mine, we thought we'd actually put it in 3D space because there's actually camera Z movement.
Yeah.
So
we wanted to try messing around with a bit of 3D stuff since we were already planning on using that. Yeah. So we had to experiment a bit with your shot so we would know what the pipeline would be like.
Yeah. So basically, Alex did these paintings in Photoshop of like basically the cutout of what the environment would look like. And in Blender, this is definitely not the way you're supposed to do it. I just like imported a bunch of planes of this thing and I used the multi-cut tool to like basically make it like a little cardboard diorama. And I just like constructed a hallway out of these basically like paper thin planes from the Photoshop document. So this background in this shot that you see right now is entirely made up of one single drawing. I just cut out that drawing and moved it in a bunch of spaces so it turned into like an actual 3D environment.
Yeah, like a pizza box.
Basically, yeah. Just a bunch of cardboard. But it looks pretty convincing, I think, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. So after we got our render shots done, it was the end of the semester. So during winter break, we kind of split off in our own little things to do. So I was continuing to finish off the rest of the VizDev, trying to at least, and I was starting to work on the background, more finalized 3D background. that led me to doing some sketches in things like Tiny Glade and doing some other sketches. So here's some stuff showing it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not representative of what we want the final environment to look like.
No, but it was a good.
It's a really, really good starting off point.
Yeah,
though.
it was a really good starting off point, seeing like
Yeah.
what we kind of wanted for the final.
It was a really nice rendering engine.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
So going from all the concept art and kind of ideation, I started working on a more finalized 3D model, which still went through some evolution, some changes, some iterations, but for the most part, it's nearing pretty much the final topology. I use something like called array modifiers in Blender, which sped up the process a bunch, and I used a bunch of other different stuff in there. But we got to where we are now, which is the current environment, which I need to destroy because it's gonna be ruins. But here's the like kind of polished version of it, and yeah, the topology's mostly there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we are ready for painting.
Painting? What happened to painting? A lot of things happened to painting. So originally, like I said, we're gonna paint everything by me, just paint all the backgrounds manually, use 3D as reference. But now, we're gonna be using something called Paint System. So what Paint System is, we're gonna like paint directly, it's kind of like a texturing engine where you just paint directly onto the 3D model. But the cool thing about Paint System is that the exact color you paint is the exact color that is showing on the camera. So I can make it look very painterly, which is really cool. Also, we looked up something called projection painting. So projection painting, right? They use this in Arcane. I'm like 90% sure.
Yeah.
They use this in Arcane. But essentially, they have a 3D model, and from the 3D model, they project a 2D painting over that. So they take a screenshot of the camera view, and they paint over that, and they use that painting, and they put it onto the 3D model of the environment, which makes the backgrounds look really good and painterly, because they literally are paintings. They're just paintings just done over them, and just like they're slightly animated. It's very cool.
It's super cool, just very expensive.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
Because when I did more research about it, right, on like how to actually get that effect, you have to do it on a per shot basis. So it's essentially almost the same thing as just painting every background, except like to a lesser degree depending on the shot. Because the way it is, the textures really only work for one camera angle. So if you have a similar camera angle, it may be fine. But if you have a very different camera angle in a different spot in the scene, it's not gonna work at all. Oh yeah, and going back to Paint System, because projection painting is cool, it's very expensive to do and it'll take a lot of time. So we're just gonna stick with Paint System. But here's some cool tests I did of Paint System. It looks pretty good from the camera view that it's like a just the actual 2D paint, but it's actually 3D. Just moving.
I didn't think it was 3D when he sent it.
Yeah.
I just thought he did like a cube drawing. I was like, why'd you send me this? I was like, oh, it's in 3D.
It's in 3D. It's in Blender.
Yeah.
It's Blender. But yeah, so that will hopefully go well. We're gonna continue working on that. And the reason we're doing, or a bonus of 3D environment is we can do some really cool stuff in 3D, such as some dynamic lighting and also camera movements and such.
Oh yeah. We also have this guy named Ethan helping us out with some really crazy Blender wizardry type stuff. All the really crazy node things and stuff. He's very smart. He's very capable
He's very
with the
knowledgeable
program. Yeah. So we're not very experienced. I used it last semester, but I didn't even know how to navigate correctly. I didn't know you could just like fly. So we don't know the program. He does, and he's helping us out a lot. So
I had to learn all this on the fly.
Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you, Ethan.
And also a big thank you to our other 3D modeler, Scully Me, for modeling this very cool pillar. It's very good.
We're just I just just did some cool concept art of that, and I did a really good job modeling it, like really good.
Very good topology, very good UV and wrap as well.
Yeah, this may not make sense to anybody that's not versed in 3D, but like my topology is kind of garbage, and like she did some magic with that, so that was very good.
And the most current progress of 3D stuff we've done lately, kind of more on my side, is setting up all the 3D cameras for the storyboard. So it was kind of laborious, not really, it's just kind of annoying, but I set up 65 cameras in the 3D view, and animated most of them. There's a few that were like pretty tricky that made me frustrated, so I stopped. But they're all in there now, which means I can draw on top of them in Toon Boom as our layouts. So I can actually animate, which I've been animating, and I'm very excited to show you the animation.
Ooh.
But not yet, not yet.
Not yet? Oh, okay. You're just edging them now.
Yeah,
Talking about animation, I can even show them. Okay.
later. So that is 3D basically. Mostly Alex is just doing very cool things, and I'm like, just being happy.
Yeah, you're working on side stuff because like
Yeah.
we're splitting roads because we're busy.
That was Studio Winni episode 5.
Absolutely.
Smash subscribe, smash everything. Ah!
Do what you want, but hope you
Yeah,
enjoyed the
do what you
video
want.
and have a good day or night or whatever you're watching this. Have a good one.
Goodbye. Did you run away?
No, I fell.
Brian was here the whole time. Ah!